World Casino, and they're off, and Uncle Heavy off a step slow. Resilience right out to the front. Lonesome Boy is in that early mix, and there's Evening News. Evening News and Eric Cancel will push the tempo. Resilience is going to take back. Just had to check briefly there in second. Outside of that one comes Lonesome Boy. Then comes Deterministic, who's settled into fourth. Is to the inside of Society Man, who's now a shared fourth. They share that fourth and fifth position. A little rank early that was Merit, who's to the outside of Gettysburg Addresses in the lime green silks, light blue silks there with Deposition out wider. Tuscan Sky is towards the tail end. Uncle Heavy is at the back end of the field there with Protective and the trailer. Elysian Meadows, they work up the backstretch. Evening News has got the lead. Pressure here from Lonesome Boy. The two long shots went 23.45 for the opening quarter mile. Resilience is settling off of them, is now patiently ridden by John Velasquez from third. Then behind them, at the rail is Deterministic, still sharing that spot with Society Man. Deposition with an early move. Deposition is now taken sixth, and behind that is Merit in seventh with less than a half mile to go. They went 47.49 for a half mile time. They've got to catch the big long shots. Evening News and Lonesome Boy, who's under a drive. Here comes Resilience moving in closer. Deterministic will need somewhere to go. Deposition is in the hunt. Society Man, Orange Cap is splitting rivals. Uncle Heavy, Tuscan Sky, Protective from the back of the field. They're all making a charge for the lead. Lonesome Boy will have the lead here with Resilience, and now Resilience presses on, and Resilience is quickly up by 2, 3 widening lengths. Society Man is in the clear. Oh, we had a spill there. Deposition clipped heels and went down. It was Resilience who's opening up, is up by 2.5, 3 lengths. Society Man down towards the inside. Protective. Resilience is drifting out. It's Resilience who's clear, is up by 3 lengths now. Resilience will win the wood. Society Man second. Protective. Lonesome Boy is going to finish fourth. Taking a look at the jockey, Dexter Haddock is sitting up. Dexter Haddock. And they're off, and off slowly there was Mission Beach and was squeezed at the start. El Grandeo right out to the front. Seminole Chief, and they are well off the rail. They're in about the 4-5 path here. El Grandeo drifts, Seminole Chief, and out wider here comes Connate, who's going to have a wide journey, is third. Now down towards the inside is Deposition, who's tucked right in behind those leaders. Also on a snug hold is Light Line as they really back off that early speed. In behind them comes Society Man, very tightly bunched here. Up on the outside, Uncle Heavy is going to be 4 wide as they move to the backstretch. Speed Runner with the trailer. After the start, Mission Beach has about 7 lengths to make up. 24 seconds flat. And they are well across the racetrack here as El Grandeo has been passed. It's Seminole Chief, who's now making up some ground in between horses. Connate is right there. These 3 now across the racetrack. Uncle Heavy is still wide. Light Line is in between horses. Deposition's right there as well as El Grandeo gave up the lead but is back for more to the inside. Still very tightly bunched here in the withers. 49.49. The half-mile time, El Grandeo and now Connate. They press on, and Connate's still ahead in front. Right to the inside, El Grandeo. Seminole Chief starts to lose some ground. Uncle Heavy is on the move from fourth. Here comes Uncle Heavy is about to take third. Deposition is all in. Light Line is trying to make a move. Mission Beach is towards the back end. Society Man and the trailer is Speed Runner. Connate has the lead, and El Grandeo is still trying to get back in front. Uncle Heavy is all in, is not cutting into the margin. Light Line is starting a rally here for Manny Franco. Is going to be a touch wide, but the front 2 have not come back to the field, and El Grandeo is back in front. It's El Grandeo who kicks away. Connate continues to chase. Uncle Heavy is trying to commence a rally, is making hard work of it. Light Line and Deposition on the grandstand side, but El Grandeo is still there. El Grandeo, here comes a run from Uncle Heavy, and Uncle Heavy in between horses. Deposition on the far outside. Light Line right there. El Grandeo needs the wire. Uncle Heavy late. It's a photo finish. Oh, that's 2 noses on the line. El Grandeo trying to hold.
His notice of action, but him and Uncle Heavy were pretty close.
Yeah, a couple $1,000. The money poured in on Uncle Heavy late, but notice of action, boy, what a neat horse he is for Bobby Ann Hawthorne. Second in the PA Nursery, won the Prince Lucky.
Well, we're going to see who gets it in the Wait For It Stakes.
Blame It On My Mama has the lead. Notice of Action, Addison's Dream. Then it's Karkaroth settling into fourth. followed by Socially Awkward. In on the rail, Standpoint right to his outside, Ridley Park, Love Shack, and then on the outside, Uncle Heavy. Blame It on My Mama has a half-length advantage. Notice of Action coming up to put some pressure on early as they make their run down the backstretch. The opening quarter, 24-2. Notice of Action confronts Blame It on My Mama, moving a little bit closer, tugging on the reins. Addison's Dream wants to get right into the mix. Then it's Karkaroth in fourth, in between horses in the orange. Socially Awkward, Uncle Heavy. Standpoint, then it's Love Shack, and Ridley Park is now the trailer. Blame It on My Mama keeping Notice of Action at bay for now as they head down the backstretch. There's about a half mile left to go. Blame It on My Mama has done it pretty easy on a loose rein so far. The half, 49-3. Blame It on My Mama, Notice of Action, a persistent presence. Then it's Karkaroth now in third on the outside. Addison's Dream in between. Still Socially Awkward. Uncle Heavy's continuing his bid, and Notice of Action is now taking command. He's blown right by Blame It on My Mama. Opening up now and says, "Catch me if you can," as they make their way through the turn. Notice of Action on the outside, continuing that bid. Uncle Heavy, Addison's Dream hanging tough in the mix. Karkaroth trying to get in gear as they make their way through the turn at the top of the stretch. Notice of Action on the outside. Uncle Heavy, he dives in on the rail to make his bid at Notice of Action. His strides are shortening. Uncle Heavy with a late rally. Karkaroth trying to pick up a piece. Notice of Action is game, but Uncle Heavy has a little bit more. Uncle Heavy puts his neck in front. There's a 16th left to go. Uncle Heavy a length over Notice of Action, trying to pull away, and Uncle Heavy is going to take the Wait For It stakes.
Well, Uncle Heavy gets it done with jockey Michael Sanchez, and
Off and racing in the Pennsylvania Nursery Stakes. It was a very slow beginning for Uncle Heavy. In between horses Capo and Factor You and Me In going to the lead. Twilight Dancer with that big blaze. He's now tracking in second. Then it's back to Kelly's Kids, followed by Dawn Tequila's. Then Notice of Action, the undefeated colt. He's in between horses to the outside. Sharp Tones, followed by Heavy Pour. And after that slow beginning, Uncle Heavy. It is Factor You and Me In. He has a narrow advantage. Twilight Dancer eager to come up and join him. The opening quarter, 23-2. Factor You and Me In. Twilight Dancer just a nose behind. Then it's Capo, Notice of Action, now up to third. Kelly's Kids, Dawn Tequila is losing some ground. Then it's Sharp Tones in on the rail. Heavy Pour. Then it's back to Uncle Heavy. Twilight Dancer puts his nose in front. Factor You and Me In hanging tough for now as they make their way into the turn. Twilight Dancer with that big blaze. Factor You and Me In. Capo in third. Then in on the rail, Notice of Action, his undefeated record on the line. Sharp Tones moving in between horses. He's now up to fourth as they make their way through the turn. The half, 47-1. Twilight Dancer has the lead. Capo giving him a run on the outside, losing a little bit of ground. There's Factor You and Me In. Notice of Action has nowhere to go. He's in tight. Twilight Dancer has the lead. A late run from Sharp Tones. Now Twilight Dancer trying to hold on from Capo. Capo and Notice of Action has some room. Twilight Dancer, Capo with a final bid. These two down to the wire, and Capo puts his nose in front. Capo wins the Pennsylvania Nursery Stakes. That was a close one. Capo over Twilight Dancer, Notice of Action, and Sharp Tones.
For the Santa Anita Derby, and away they go, and Pioneer of the Nile hopped away nicely, but it's Feisty Sue Answers who wants the lead, and Feisty Sue Answers goes on to lead them. Take the points coming through the race in second. Unbridled Roman at the rail. Pioneer of the Nile has taken a strong hold in the fourth position. Gallant Sun is on the outside. Chocolate Candy's taken back second last, and Mr. Hot Stuff is last, but no more than 5 lengths would cover them all. They run past the 7/8, and Feisty Sue Answers hugs the rail and ensures a good pace in the Derby. Leads it by just over a length to the grey. Take the points in second. Unbridled Roman pulling pretty hard down at the rail. Pioneer of the Nile is right there in fourth. No more than 2 lengths off the leaders, and Pioneer of the Nile now pulling away at Garrett Gomez, and Pioneer of the Nile's taken hold of the bit, and he's taking off with him now as he goes to the front as they go past the 5/8. Then we drop back to Unbridled Roman, who's lost a bit of ground. Chocolate Candy is now 5 off them, and Mr. Hot Stuff is last. They run past the half-mile pole in the Derby now. On the inside, Feisty Sue Answers. Right up alongside us, Pioneer of the Nile. No breathers out here. These two going at it as they go into the far turn. Take the points is right there, third. Then Unbridled Roman. We come back to Gallant Sun, who's the first one under a ride. Mr. Hot Stuff has 6 lengths to make up, and Chocolate Candy last, but they taking closer order as they come to the top of the lane. Still the long shot, Feisty Sue Answers. Pioneer of the Nile is right there. Chocolate Candy on the outside. Take the points behind that. Gallant Sun in with a shot. Homeward bound in the Derby.